Hello, this is chapter 6, lesson 3, proving that a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. And we're going to determine whether a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. There's lots of different ways to do it, based on the properties of its sides, angles, and diagonals. There's going to be a bunch, so write these down. Here's a better, if you're going to write them down, this is more concise and to the point. This is all the different ways we can prove if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. And we'll go through these theorems 6.8 through 6.12 in this lesson. So you can pause it, write these down now if you want. So a couple of the ways we can do it. If both sides, both pairs of opposite sides, so if you have congruent sides across from each other, it's a parallelogram. If one of the angles, so for example, angle A, if angle A plus angle B and angle A plus angle D, if both of those equal 180, then it's a parallelogram. That implies that angle B and D would be congruent. Theorem 610 is similar. It says, hey, if both pairs of opposite angles of a quadrilateral are congruent, then the quadrilateral is a parallelogram. So if you know B is congruent to D and A is congruent to C, then it's a quadrilateral. Or sorry, it's a parallelogram. Okay, so those are 3 ways, and now we're going to look at how we can answer some questions using those 3 ways. So here we've got a quadrilateral, and we want to know for what value of y must PQRS be a parallelogram. Well, if it's a parallelogram, we can remember what we just learned is that these sides have to be congruent and these sides have to be congruent. So in order to figure out what y is, I'm going to have to figure out what x is first. And because those sides are congruent, I can set up 3x minus 5 equals 2x plus 1. And I can solve this for x. So minus 2x minus 2x, x minus 5 equals 1, plus 5, x equals 6. So x is 6, and these two sides are also congruent. So x plus 2 has to equal y, and we know x is 6, so substitute 6 in. 6 plus 2 equals y, 8 equals y. So the answer there is 8. Yep. So if y is 8, then it has to be a parallelogram, because that would make 2 pairs of congruent sides. Opposite congruent sides. The reason they say opposite congruent sides is because you could also have 2 pairs of congruent sides like this, but that shape is not a parallelogram. That shape is a kite. When the parallels, or when the congruent sides are opposite each other, then it's a parallelogram. Okay. So try this one out. You'll have to figure out which of those 3 theorems we just talked about you're going to use, and see if you can figure out what values of x and y must EFG be a parallelogram.